We have a lot of big wrestling news stories in this video. I'm going to bring you guys my analysis, timestamps in the description down below. We're going to kick things off with Bobby Fish and Impact. And guys, I got to be honest with you, this was kind of cool. Bobby Fish goes to Impact, Victory Road, cuts a promo, takes a shot at CM Punk. He obviously respects the Impact roster. We don't know what his future is with Impact because we know he hasn't signed a deal with Impact. We also know that Impact has been kind of doing like these per appearance deals, but that are like still exclusive. It's kind of like a gray area, but if Bobby Fish is going to be an Impact, I think it's going to be interesting because we have always seen Bobby Fish be aligned with Kyle O'Reilly or Adam Cole, especially in most recent years. But then what I found very interesting is Ryan Frederick from the Wrestling Observer newsletter came out and reported that Bobby Fish tried to convince Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to ask for their AEW release so that way they can all go to WWE. Now, here's the thing. We've seen Bobby Fish be outspoken about AEW. We saw him become outspoken about CM Punk. We've seen him talk about how he would go to war for Triple H. There's obviously a lot of respect for WWE and Triple H. But also at the same time, too, I would be lying if I told you guys I just want to see a Bobby Fish singles run in WWE. I also wouldn't want to see an Adam Cole singles run in WWE. And truth be told, I wouldn't want to see a Kyle O'Reilly singles run in WWE. Triple H did a fantastic job running NXT and making Undisputed Era a very cool group to watch. And I felt like they all needed each other to be successful in WWE. And, you know, the great thing is all three of them have these individual characteristics that make them great. So when you put them together, it's just a really good act. Now, also at the same time, the idea that Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole don't want to go back to WWE, I mean, it's just unfortunate because with Triple H now running creative, you have to imagine that everything Undisputed Era did in NXT that was great would probably be 1,000 times better when you consider them being a part of the main roster. And unfortunately, that just doesn't look to be the case. I also want to make it very clear. With Kyle O'Reilly, he's injured, right? We know that he's going to be out for some time. Adam Cole still has yet to return at the time of this recording. You know, what is AEW's plan going forward with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole? Because again, Bobby Fish was part of that, right? I think the idea of Red Dragon being together and Adam Cole being a world champion, it would have made a lot of sense. When you remove Bobby Fish from the equation, I understand for a lot of people it's not make or break, but you have to wonder what is going to be the future of Cole and O'Reilly. Now, one thing I could recommend if WWE does want to bring Bobby Fish back, you have Roderick Strong trying to take on Damon Kemp and the Creed brothers. Bobby Fish and Roderick Strong obviously have that history as part of being Undisputed Era. You have to wonder if there is something potentially there, and we'll find out because Impact deals really aren't long-term. Maybe that is a possibility. I want to talk to you guys about Cody Rhodes and his inevitable WWE return. It's so crazy just to think that Cody Rhodes has been off of television for a few months now, obviously due to the torn pectoral. Guys, that injury was crazy. We saw him wrestle in Hell in a Cell, an absolute banger of a match with Seth Rollins. And now Triple H is running WWE Creative, so you have to wonder, what is it going to look like with Cody Rhodes under Triple H's leadership? But what's really funny here is Cody Rhodes actually spoke to TMZ Sports. And when he spoke to TMZ Sports, he said he is getting closer to his WWE return. And of course, we all want to know when his return is going to be. But then here's where things get really funny. He says they haven't even given him a timeline. And when he says they, he's talking about the doctors. The doctors haven't given him a timeline because they think he is stupid. And they believe that he would try to test an early return, which obviously puts him at risk of getting re-injured. So Cody Rhodes does believe his return is coming soon, but they're not rushing it. Now, if you're WWE and you're Triple H in this situation, you obviously want to bring back Cody Rhodes, right? You want to bring back Cody Rhodes. It makes a lot of sense for them to bring back Cody Rhodes, especially at a time where momentum is growing very quickly. But then also, where do you put Cody Rhodes back into the fold right away? And it's really hard to answer this question because WWE is clearly behind the Bloodline. If you watch the Bloodline, you see what they're doing with Sami Zayn, Solo Sikoa, and the Usos. I mean, there is just something really special about the storyline now. They're definitely picking up momentum with this specific story. Cody Rhodes should be the guy that dethrones Roman Reigns, but the problem is you just can't do it just yet. So what do you do with Cody Rhodes in the middle of it all? And I think that's where it gets really interesting. Now, if I'm WWE, I think the best thing they can do, if Cody Rhodes could get cleared, I would have him return at Survivor Series and have him start a new program with whoever they want on the roster. And that should be very interesting because I think at this point in time, the United States Championship is becoming a very, very prominent prize on WWE Raw. Bobby Lashley is having great matches with this belt. Somebody's going to need to take the belt off of him. If I'm WWE, I would have Cody Rhodes hold the U.S. Championship for a little bit. Honestly, until it's time for him to get the world title, there is nothing wrong with it. I think, in fact, it probably makes the U.S. title feel even more important. But if I'm WWE, that's what I would do because whoever beats Cody for the U.S. title, clearly it's going to be a big rub. And guys, it's time to talk about Bray Wyatt. You know WWE is posting all of these teasers, these Easter eggs. They know what they're doing. Triple H is trying to get the hardcore audience talking. And again, he's trying to balance the best of both worlds, right? He's creating content that's good for the casuals and good for hardcore fans. But now if you look at the recent tease, patricide, I think is how it's pronounced. These are the coordinates, and you probably have seen this on Twitter already. The coordinates here lead to the arena for WWE Raw, and I think WWE is not going to have Bray Wyatt or the White Rabbit get revealed on Raw. But every week, there's going to be teasers and things to look for that basically give you an idea for when the next tease is coming. Now, what's really, really interesting here is there's some rumors floating around that WWE is essentially going to create a multiverse of Bray Wyatt characters, which this gets really intriguing and really crazy. But what's even really crazier is if you look up the definition of patricide and you go and do a little bit of research, you can go back and find Bray Wyatt's early promos in Florida Championship Wrestling where he specifically talks about the killing of his father. Then you put two and two together and he literally references this. The White Rabbit is Bray Wyatt. And so I'm going to make an official prediction. I believe Bray Wyatt will have multiple characters for multiple years to come. We know that he signed for multiple years for a lot of money. I think we're going to see different variations of Bray Wyatt. I think we might even see a new version of the Wyatt family. I think there's a lot of possibilities there. But I think Bray Wyatt's ultimate character, the new version of The Fiend, will be this White Rabbit. And this White Rabbit will be probably very sadistic, evil, demonic, crazy, psychotic. I mean, all of the things that you can use to describe something like this, I can't even find enough words, right? This is probably going to be the most sickening character that Bray Wyatt has. It's going to be the most untouchable character Bray Wyatt has. But I also think at the same time, through different variations of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, Swamp version of Bray, whatever they end up doing here, I think all of it is going to lead to the White Rabbit, and that is where things get very intriguing. And I think Bray Wyatt is such a creative person, and the fact that he's going to have creative freedom in WWE, obviously things will have to get approved, but with him working side by side with Triple H and the top writing team, like, there's something about that intrigues me, and I think this is where Bray Wyatt's career is really going to elevate. I loved his work before. I don't believe WWE ruined Bray Wyatt. I believe there was a couple booking decisions that were wrong, but I don't think the character is broken. Now, I think we're going to see a whole different level of this, and that intrigues the living crap out of me. Let me know what you guys think down below.